Hey everybody, it's Jason from Straight Edge Knives. I'm here with Michael Janich at Spyderco, and he's going to go over some of the new models coming out this year. Mike, go ahead and take it away.
Thanks, Jason. I appreciate it. First one I want to talk about is the Enough 2. So Spyderco produced a knife called the Enough, actually a series of knives called the Enough. The name basically came from the belief that Sal Glesser, the designer and founder of Spyderco, he felt that in a fixed blade knife, most of the work is going to be done near the heel of the edge. So when you look at a nice short blade like this, it's just enough. And that was the concept behind that. The knives were well received, but we got a lot of feedback from our customers that they actually preferred a little bit longer blade length. They also wanted something a little bit lighter. The original ones were pretty stout. We still maintained the salt version of the Enough in our line, but the Enough 2 is basically kind of taking that same handle design, but now extending the blade a bit longer and also make the blade thinner. So the Enough 2 designed to, again, accommodate our customers' needs, respond to their requests, give them what they feel is a much more functional fixed blade. So in this case, what we have is a VG10 stainless steel blade. It's available in both a plain edge and, as we see here, fully serrated spider edge format. Injection molded fiberglass reinforced nylon handles with Spyderco's bidirectional texturing pattern on them for a really secure grip. The handle shape gives you a nice palm swell in the middle. Also brackets your hand between the pinky hook and the guard at the front here for a really secure grip. The sheath for this is injection molded polymer, so it has a snap fit. As you place it in, it snaps in very securely. Sal also wanted to have a secondary retention on this, so there's also a leather strap with a stud that allows that secondary retention. That can be removed if you prefer just to have the snap fit. Nice thumb push off. And it's also equipped with our G-clip attachment. G-clip is great because it accommodates belts up to 1.5 inches wide. It also can be used as a spring clip for inside the waistband carry. So that's the Enough 2, one of our new fixed blades. You notice that it has a very close cousin right here. This is also a version of the Enough 2. But you notice a different handle color, and this is also made with K390. K390 is a tool steel that was developed for very demanding industrial applications. A very high alloy steel, takes a great hardness. So when it comes to edge retention, what this does is it takes the same basic design and kind of supercharges it with a steel that's going to hold an edge a very long time. Has the signature handle color of all of our K390 family of knives. All the other features and benefits of this knife are exactly the same style of sheath, just again supercharged with that particular tool steel. Staying in kind of the fixed blade realm, what we have here is the stock Buoy. So it's designed by Shirt Stock. It's actually a marketing specialist for one of Europe's largest outdoor and knife retailers, internet retailers. And he's also a classically trained artist. When he went to art school, worked a lot with X-Acto knives, worked a lot with knives in various functions related to his pursuit of art, and became very fond of small fixed blade knives. And in Europe, what you'll find is in many cases the carry of folding knives, especially lock blade folding knives, is closely regulated, but they're actually much more accepting of small fixed blade knives. So he actually designed 2 different patterns that he submitted to Spyderco for our consideration. He attended some of our meets in Amsterdam and met Eric Glesser, son of the founder of the company. And basically we decided to embrace his designs and produce them. So this is the Buoy style. It has a saber ground blade in kind of a traditional Buoy pattern. Has a swedge on the back here. Full tang design, so you can see the tang extends all the way, the full profile of the handle. Peel ply textured olive drab G10 scales for a nice grip. And what you'll notice is the ergonomics of the grip also allow you to, especially with the index finger choil here, really choke up and get close to the working portion of the knife. So it gives you a really secure grip, but in a very small platform. It's 8CR 13 MOV stainless steel, and it comes with a custom molded bolter-on sheath. So it's a taco style sheath. It's folded over, custom molded, and again we have the G-clip attachment. So what it gives you is a really interesting alternative to a traditional pocket knife for urban carry. If you don't like the Buoy style blade and you want something that gives you a little bit sleeker edge geometry, this is what we call the stock drop point. So a drop point design, actually kind of reminiscent of a traditional lamb's foot design. You have a full flat grind, which gives you really good edge geometry, and it lowers the point a bit. So when you're using the point for cutting, it allows you to apply a little bit more pressure closer to the tip of the blade. All the other features and benefits, again, are the same. 8CR 13 MOV, full tang construction, peel ply texture G10 scales, and again, a custom molded bolter-on sheath. Nice snap fit, with the G-clip attachment. So that is a stock drop point.
Very nice. I think a lot of times people underestimate how effective a small knife can be too.
Exactly. And again, when you look at it and how you use the knife comes into it as well. All of our Spyderco knives are designed, the folders are designed for one-hand operation, but in some cases, if somebody has perhaps arthritis or they have some other kind of issue where operating a folder is a challenge, having a small fixed blade like this really makes a viable alternative as a daily utility knife. I'm actually going to jump over to this one. First of all, we'll kind of return to this guy in a moment. This is the Military 2. So the military model, designed in the mid-1990s by Sal Glesser, was actually his answer. Somebody asked him if your son were being deployed, were joining the military, what knife would you give him? We had a number of knives that were super functional at that time, but Sal didn't feel that any of those were really ideally suited for military use, especially use with gloved hands. So he designed the original military model. It's become an iconic design for Spyderco. It's been around for decades and is still one of our best sellers. But this is the Military 2. And what we've done is taken some of the lessons from our paramilitary 2, which was actually inspired by the Military 2, and kind of retroactively applied them to the military. Specifically, it's a compression lock design. So with a compression lock, what you have is the liner, split liner is actually on the back here. And a lot of people think that it's the same mechanics as a liner lock. What you'll notice is the ramp on the back of the blade actually faces upward. So in the open position, that ramp points upward toward the stop pin of the knife. So the stop pin not only restricts the opening arc of the knife, so when it hits full opening, it stops at that point, but also what it does now is that liner is now caught between the bottom of the stop pin and the top of that ramp. So when you apply pressure to try to close the knife and overcome the lock, it's not just trying to bend it or push it out of the way, it's literally trying to crush that liner. So mechanically, it's much stronger. From an operational standpoint, what it allows you to do is to open the knife, and then when you close it, you simply place your thumb on this side, index finger squeezes this way, and it allows you to close the knife without ever placing your fingers in the way of the sharpened edge. So from a one-hand usability standpoint, open the knife, cut whatever you need to cut, close the knife, very, very user-friendly. By having the full stainless steel liners in the knife, what it also allows you to do is have a 4-position clip. So traditionally, the military was restricted to right side tip down carry, which is the way this one comes out of the box. But you notice it's also drilled and tapped on both sides and both ends of the handle. So it literally accommodates tip up, tip down, left or right side carry as well. It's an open back construction for lightweight, has a large lanyard hole, and it also has refined ergonomics, including the index finger choil. So what it allows you to do is you can certainly use the knife gripping it this way for greater leverage, or if you want that additional dexterity, you simply move up one finger's width, put your thumb and index finger here, and it allows you to really choke up on the blade and get that extra dexterity. Both the thumb ramp and the index finger choil have a section of jimping, gives you a really secure grip. The handle is peel ply texture G10, and the liners are nested into that G10. So the inside of the G10 scales is machined to accept those, keeps the overall profile and thickness of the knife very thin, very pocket friendly. So it's literally one of Spyderco's most iconic designs that has now been updated.
Thank you for explaining the compression lock to me, because I didn't know that that's how the compression lock worked. I knew how a liner lock worked, but I didn't know how a compression lock worked. So yeah, thank you for explaining that.
Mechanically, a big difference between those two.
Yeah, that's one thing with liner locks I'm always afraid of, is if I accidentally hit the back of the blade hard, it's going to overcome that.
And liner locks, if you look at the original military, what you'll also see is there's a generous cutout that allows you access to the liner lock. That's good because it allows user friendliness, but when you grip the knife tightly, especially if you're using it with any kind of lateral pressure, it is possible to actually have your index finger on the lock release. You have to be careful not to inadvertently release the lock. With this, what you're doing is placing that compression lock into the soft web of your thumb, so no matter how hard you grip this, you can't really inadvertently release the lock. The next one up should look familiar to a lot of Spyderco fans, is the Paramilitary 2, but this particular version of it is a sprint run that we're doing in CPM 15V. So CPM 15V, CPM is Crucible Particle Metallurgy, so all the particle metallurgy steels made by Crucible, and the 15V signifies 15% vanadium. So it's a super vanadium-rich stainless steel, and with all that vanadium, it really promotes the formation of vanadium carbides. Those are super hard, give this knife extreme wear resistance, and allow it to achieve a higher Rockwell hardness. We actually worked with a custom maker by the name of Sean Houston. You can see Sean's mark on the blade here. His business name is Big Brown Bear. So the brown handles on here are kind of an homage to him, signifying his cooperation with Spyderco as far as the heat treating protocol for 15V. So as a custom maker, he's renowned for wringing the most performance out of these steels through highly developed heat treating processes. So we worked with him to develop the heat treating for this. Gives extreme wear resistance on this, which means that this is going to hold an edge extremely well. At the same time, it's a super tough steel as well. So it's a really elite tool steel. We're really proud to have that in our lineup. Following that same theme, we've got the Shaman, exact same process as far as CPM 15V steel. Big Brown Bear helped us with the heat treating protocols on that. And again, same theme as far as the brown handles on here. So all the features and benefits of our standard Shaman model, but now with the benefit of that 15V. So this is also a sprint run. For those unfamiliar with sprint runs, basically what that means is it's a one-time production run that we do at Spyderco. So we say we're going to make X number, limited edition number of knives. We're going to do it in a specialized configuration, and once that's done, it's never going to be repeated in that exact form again. And so that's what a sprint run signifies.
Oh, sorry. Are those only available like through a specific, like Spyderco's only website?
Sprint runs we do sell through our dealers. So we basically allot those as fairly as we possibly can. But what it comes down to is it's a one-time event. So we make that limited edition run. Once that's done, it won't be repeated in that exact form again. But we're going to have a number of knives with that same kind of theme, with the brown G10 handles, CPM 15V blade. There'll be a number of our American-made knives that'll be made in that same way. The last one I want to cover is actually one that's near and dear to my heart. This is the Micro Jimbo. So this is actually kind of a advanced notice, if you will. This is a knife that has not been formally revealed in Spyderco's literature yet. So you're getting kind of a sneak peek at it. What it is I designed the Yojimbo 2. This is my personal carry one. A little bit different than what you'll typically see. This one you'll see is blue handled because I had a friend Cerakote it for me. Typically these come black handled, but this is the Yojimbo 2. It's been around since 2011. A lot of folks love this knife, but the blade is over 3 inches long. It's about 3.2 inches. For jurisdictions that require 3 inches or less, having a smaller knife, or for people who have smaller hands, want something a bit smaller, we had a request to have a knife with all the same features and benefits, but in a smaller platform. So the Micro Jimbo, what I did was I literally scaled it down. For the gun guys out there, great way to think about this is Glock 19, Glock 26. You kind of take that same approach. So what you'll see is the round hole, the pivot pin, the stop pin, essentially what we call the cockpit, all the critical dimensions around the pivot pin, and all the critical dimensions as far as proper operation and functionality of the knife, they all remain the same. So what that allows you to do is when you get used to the idea of opening the knife, the arc of your thumb, the movement of your thumb, all that is exactly the same on this knife. What is different is it has a full flat ground blade. So it's CPM S30V stainless steel, but with a full flat grind. Some people are not fond of the hollow grind of the original Yojimbo 2. So we went with a flat grind on this. Still a compression lock mechanism. So the same compression lock that I described earlier, the ability to close that easily with one hand without putting your fingers in the way of the edge. And then for people who want something that is very discreet, with this, we went with a deep pocket wire carry clip. So when you put this in the pocket, it sits very deeply in the pocket, and because it's shorter overall, still allows you to draw the knife and easily move right into your opening arc as far as operation of the blade with your thumb. So it literally takes all the same features you would find in the Yojimbo 2 and just kind of scales those down, but does it in a way where, again, all those critical dimensions in the cockpit remain consistent.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that with us.
And this one, the question always comes up, when will this be available? Our guys in the factory are working on tooling for this now, trying to get geared up for that. So we're hoping that this will be available hopefully sometime middle of this year. We're definitely shooting for a 2023 release for this, but we don't have an exact release date as yet.
So stay tuned to Spyderco's website for more information on that, obviously.
Check our website. We also have the Spyderco app. So we have an app that is dedicated, allows people to sign up for new product releases. That's awesome. The easiest way to get the latest news from Spyderco.
I didn't even know there was a Spyderco app.
There's an app. We also have a newsletter called The Bite. It's a monthly newsletter. We put out all of our news, all the latest developments in Spyderco. So signing up for the bite, signing up for the app, great ways to stay literally on the cutting edge of latest news from Spyderco.
No pun intended.
Forgive the pun. Yeah.
Oh, well, thank you so much, Michael. I greatly appreciate you taking the time to show all these to us, giving us that information. I will post a link to Spyderco's website in the description below. If I can, I'll see if I can even do a link for the app. I'm not sure if I can do that or not, but I'll try it.
Give it a shot.
But thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for the opportunity.
All right. Have a great day.
Stay safe.
Stay safe, stay sharp, everybody.